Hey, 7th graders, I apologize I'm not there today. I'm just not feeling great. So what I'd like you to do today is make sure that you've got your classwork sheet and you have your headphones and you've got a calculator with you because you'll need it in a second. Then a pencil. We're going to just work through some of the questions on your sheet. A lot of the stuff you'll be able to do on your own, just kind of remembering your area and perimeter. Before we do that, I want to give you a second to take a look at our picture here, and then in a moment, they're going to pop up a little Edpuzzle question to say, what do you think the answer is when we simplify this? Okay, if you need to draw it on your piece of paper, go ahead and draw it, but take a second and figure out what this would look like as a simplified expression. Okay, I would like you to do the same thing and work through this question. If you'd like to draw it on a kind of corner of your classwork to draw it out, or you can take a look at it and see if you can simplify it without drawing it out. And again, there'll be a question that pops up here in a moment for you to answer to see if you have the simplified expression. Okay, today we are going to look at a couple things. Today we're going to look at, we're kind of moving forward a little bit, and we're going to look at our lesson 4.1, and we're going to, again, go back to some similar shapes. Okay, so our big key similar shapes. Okay, and we're going to, again, look at the word scale factors, and we're going to connect those to two things today. We're going to connect it to area, and we're going to connect it to perimeter to see how those are affected. So again, those two things we're going to look at today. So again, similarity and scale factor, and we're going to use it to see how is it related to perimeter and how is it related to area. And you're going to do a little bit of finding perimeter and finding area. Not super hard, but the goal is, again, to find a pattern that you're going to see as you're working through the math today. Okay? So first is first, let's kind of quick review. Remember what scale factor is. I'm going to give you throw up a little Edpuzzle question here. Choose what do you think scale factor is. Again, if you said scale factor is a multiplier that makes it bigger or smaller, you are correct. A multiplier that changes the size. Okay, if you chose that, you got it. The second thing I want to do is I want to remember what, okay, awesome. So that's our scale factor. So again, we're going to use that scale factor to see how it affects a perimeter of a shape and how it affects the area of the shape. And remember, when we find area, again, we're looking at the inside of a shape. And remember, when we think about perimeter, we are thinking about the outside of that shape. And today we're just going to use rectangles. Again, we don't want to think too hardly about kind of how I'm finding an area of things. We really want you to make sure that you're finding the kind of and looking for a pattern today. And a lot of us will see that pattern. You've got that calculator there. I'm going to kind of see how the relationship will happen. So perimeter, remember, we'll add the outside today, and then the inside for the area, remember that we're doing length times width, or how we say it before, base times height. That's how we kind of use it in 7th grade, 8th grade, and kind of from there on out. Okay, so grab your piece of paper. What I want you to do is I want you to find the top of your piece of paper, and we're going to start with today is you're going to start with draw your original rectangle and label the side lengths 2 and 3 feet. So go ahead and take a second on your piece of paper and draw the original or the OG rectangle, and that we've got a side that is 2 feet, a side that is 3 feet, and remember the opposite sides are there. So go ahead and draw that on your piece of paper. And then I want to take a moment, have you take a moment, and I want you to find the perimeter, and I want you to find the area of those rectangles. If you said the perimeter was 10 feet, you nailed it. And if you said the original area of the rectangle was 6 feet, and you did 2 times 3 to get 6 feet, you've got it. Okay, now take a moment, and you're going to have 4 boxes here. You're going to do your scale factor of 2, a scale factor of 3. Once you've done those, we're going to use that to kind of do the moment. But I want you to take a second, and I want you to apply a scale factor of 2 to our original shape. So go ahead and again draw a rectangle on there. And I want you to apply the scale factor of 2. Remember, the scale factor is a multiplier, and we're going to multiply each side of those shapes by 2. So go ahead and do that. 4 feet. And go ahead and go through it. I'm going to do this one with you. So we did 2 times 2, which gives us 4 feet. 3 times 2, which gives us 6 feet. 2 times 2, which gives us 4 feet. And 2 times 3, which gives us 6 feet. So you have your shape right there, and then go ahead and use that to start to find the new perimeter and the new area. Okay, so if you found the perimeter to be 20 feet and the new area to be 6 feet, or sorry, 24 feet, 24 feet squared, you got it. So 20 feet and 24 feet. So go ahead and take a second, and I want you to find the scale factor and use that scale factor to change the other 3 shapes that you have on there. Okay, let's go ahead and do that now. You can go ahead and pause your video as you find those couple scale factors. Okay, so drawing your shape and going from there. Okay, if you found that to be your scale factor of 3, you nailed it. A scale factor of 4, and a scale factor of 5. Go ahead and find your scale factor of 4. Okay, if you found your new perimeter to be 40 feet and 96 feet for the scale factor of 4, and then go ahead and do the scale factor of 5 on there. And then double check your answers on the puzzle. Okay, double checking your answers there. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to use that information, and you are going to go back and find your original perimeter, the scale factor, and you're going to write your perimeters into our table right there to kind of compare each one of those. And then you're going to do the same thing with the areas. So you're going to look at the originals, you're going to look at that pattern. So go ahead and fill that in. So like the original perimeter, if we go back, our original perimeter was 10 feet. And then go back and look at your scale factor of 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then go back and look at your area. So our original area was 6 feet squared. Okay, and then you're going to fill in those other pieces. So go ahead and do that right now. Okay, for comparing perimeters, you're going to notice something when you look at the scale factors and you look at how they happen. Remember, scale factor is a multiplier. So how did that original shape and that scale factor help us get from those to those? Okay, so go ahead and look what you're noticing right there. Okay, so go ahead and write down what you think you noticed from that one. We'll talk about that one a little bit tomorrow when we get back from there. So go ahead and write down your best guess. What happened in that situation? Okay. Then I want you to look at, once you've written that one down, again, we're not going to write that one down together because I think you can see that one. Now this one, I want to see if you can notice how is it changing between here. So I want you to go ahead and just right now, for these 3, I want to figure out, what do you think we multiply by to go from 6 to 24? Go ahead and write that little diagram on your piece of paper. I want you to do the same thing for 54. I want you to write, what do we multiply by? Then I want you to do the same thing for 96. What do we multiply by to go from 6 to 96? And if you need to, you can divide to find that number. And then I want you to do, what do you think you go from 6 to 150? What do we multiply by? Okay, and this is kind of the hardest one to see just because of the numbers in there. But again, once you look in there and you found out, what do you multiply to go from 6 to 24? Well, if you said 4, what do you multiply to go from 6 to 54? And you said 9. Well, you said 6 to 96, and you said 16, and then 6 to 150, and you found 25. What do you notice about those numbers? Oops. What do you notice about those numbers and the scale factor? Because they have a relationship too. And then you look at your scale factor between 9 and 3. What do you notice about those two numbers? How are they related? And then what do you notice about 4 and 16? How are those related? And then I want you to look at 5 and 25. How are those related? If you notice, 2 and 4, 3 and 9, and 4 and 16, and 5 and 25, how can we use those to get there? So go ahead and take your best guess, write your best guess down. If you're not sure, go and write not sure, and we'll talk about this when I come back to class tomorrow. And then wherever you are right now, I want you to take a minute, and I want you to, right now, it says Joe wants to create a 10-foot by 12-foot blanket. The store charges $4 a square foot for fabric. How much will the blanket cost for Joe? Remember that you need to be in area to help you find this. So it's $4 for 1 square foot inside of there. How much is it going to cost for the whole blanket? So 10 by 12. Go ahead and find that area. Do your best guess. Write that answer on there. Bring it up. And you're going to finish with the homework today. Okay? So, again, great job. We'll see you tomorrow to wrap up those ideas and those thoughts. And then we'll talk to you later. Bye.